Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm DCSG81 and welcome to another new toy news comparison whereby we will be comparing between SH Figuarts versus SH Figuarts. Okay, so I believe some of you guys who have actually followed my channel for quite a while now, you guys know that I'm a big fan of comparisons. Okay, so how can I miss this comparison for the latest Avengers assembly line that has just recently been announced? This actually just a few days ago. And for those of you who wasn't aware, the Tamashii Nation has just recently announced 4 new figures based on the Avengers way back in 2012, whereby they call it the Avengers Assemble line, which is Captain America, Hulk, Thor, as well as Iron Man Mark 6. Okay, but before we begin on the comparison, I would like to talk about the poll that I created just yesterday. It's very interesting to see those votes from you guys, because I really like to know which one are your favorite. Thor is actually taking the lead because it is also one of my most wanted, and then it goes to the Iron Man Mark 6 battle damage, which is also my second most wanted one. Okay, so you guys are actually thinking the same as me. Okay, but what surprises me is I was thinking the next one would be Captain America, so I was surprised that it's only 5%, which is the lowest, and the next one actually goes to Hulk, okay, which actually have 23%. Okay, it's pretty interesting to see all these percentage, all these numberings from you guys, and I'm very thankful for those of you who actually take some time off to just click on the button and choose which one actually you wanted most. Thank you guys. Okay, so let's start off with the comparison. I will start off with Captain America that you can see right now. Okay, so as you can see from this screen, well, both of them actually looks very similar actually. Okay, but I do realize that some of you guys actually argue that the newer one, which is the Avenger Assemble, have a closer resemblance to the Captain America because of the suit color. Okay, whereby the next picture you can see actually put the real life Chris Evans in the middle, that you can see the comparison, and we can see the Captain versus Captain one actually mimic pretty well in terms of the poses with the real person. And yep, it just looks like the newer one have a slightly lighter blue, okay, which actually matches the real life Chris Evans as the Captain America, whereby the Captain versus Captain suit is more like a dark navy blue kind of color. Yep, so you guys are right. I think it actually, the newer one does have a better resemblance in terms of the suit color. And the next one, we will take a look at the head sculpt that both of the figure comes with. Let's take a look at the Captain versus Captain first. As we can see, it actually comes with 3 head sculpt, whereby the first one is the mask without expression, the second one is the unmasked Chris Evans head, which looks pretty good, and the third one is whereby he's showing his teeth, which looks pretty funny. Okay, and then we will take a look at the next one. Of course, is from the latest Avenger Assemble line, whereby in the promo picture we can only see 2 different heads that you can see, just a normal one, and then we can see another teeth showing face of Chris Evans. And in this case, you guys might be wondering whether these are the same heads from the Captain versus Captain, just that they actually painted the mask on. Now you can see, yep, it just looks very similar in terms of the overall head sculpt. I'm not surprised they actually used back the same lower jaw whereby he's showing his teeth. Yeah, it's very similar. Okay, and of course the next one, we will move on to the accessories that both of the figures comes with. We'll take a look at the Captain versus Captain first. You can see that it comes with pretty much quite a number of accessories there. We can see the effects of the bouncing shield, and then also there's also a hands holding the compass. Okay, and also we can see that there are a hoodie for the unmasked head. Okay, that's considered part of the accessory. And lastly, of course, it just comes with a bigger effects parts for you to put on the shield when the other Captain America actually, you know, knock the shield on it. So it's pretty much accessory pack, I would say. And the next one, of course, you take a look at the Avenger Assemble Captain America, whereby there is only a better damage shield, or do you call it the dirty shield, and then followed by a finger pointing hand and followed by a 2 fingers pointing hand. Okay, if you consider those as accessory, because basically it comes with pretty much just a dirty shield. Okay, so in this case, if you were to ask me which one is better, whether is it the Avenger Assemble one or the Captain vs Captain that has been released, in this case I would think that I will go on with the Captain vs Captain because it does comes with a lot more accessories and the head sculpt of Chris Evans, which looks pretty good to me. The only thing that this one wins is just the suit color, which actually matches the on-screen Captain America more accurately, but I think just the suit, it doesn't really outweigh. This one is actually more worthwhile to get. Okay, so the next one we'll go to is Hulk. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that you guys would say that it's not a fair comparison between these two because one is from the Infinity War Avengers and one is from the Avengers itself, but this is the only two Hulk that we get. Other than the Ragnarok Hulk, these are pretty much a good comparison. So we can take a look at the screen that you can see, which looks pretty good. Both of them are equally almost similar, but if you were to take a closer look into it, from this picture you can see two very different things. The first one, of course, is what I mentioned in my previous video, is that the one from the Avengers Assemble, which is the one on your right, it does have some hairs on his chest, while the one from the Infinity War, he's pretty much clean shaven. And the next thing that we notice is the cutting of the joint. Okay, the Infinity War Hulk, which is the one on the left, he does have the very weird, you know, big cut on his body, which is like a big oval shape, while the one from the Avenger Assembly, this looks very good. It's just like a very straight line, which, you know, when you pose him standing straight, it doesn't look as I would say ugly because of the cutting of the joint. And the next one we will see, of course, is the pants. Okay, the one from the Infinity War is having like a spandex kind, and the one from the Avenger is more of the classic pants that you can see there are more tones. Of course, the classic versions, which is the Avenger Assemble one, does looks much better in my opinion. In the next picture, we can see how much both of the Hulk can bend forward. As you can see from the Avenger Assemble one, he does able to bend forward pretty much as well, even though with the very straightened kind of cutting of his torso, which doesn't really, you know, hinders the articulation pretty much. So it's a good choice in terms of the cutting for this new Avengers Assemble Hulk. The next one, of course, we'll take a look at the head sculpt from both of the figures. So we'll take a look at the Infinity War one first that you can see right now. Okay, so we have three head sculpt. One is the expressionless one is the with the teeth grinning, and one is of course with the open mouth shouting head sculpt. Okay, and we'll look next of the Avenger Assemble Hulk, which also comes with three different heads. The one that is on the left is the grinning one because it doesn't comes with any of the expressionless face sculpt, which I think is pretty good. And the second one is of course with the teeth grinning, and the third one is the open mouth. So we'll take a look at each one by one. Okay, the first one we'll go through is of course the teeth grinning because both of them are looking quite similar in some sense. And the next one we can see the open mouth, like I say in my previous video. The one from the Avenger Assemble, this looks a little bit, I really can't feel the anger in this head sculpt because it's supposed to be very angry, but the the head sculpt doesn't really shows it. Okay, while the Infinity War one, I can feel the, you know, the anger. And the last one, of course, is it's pretty funny because the Avenger Assemble Hulk doesn't comes with any expressionless one, which is pretty useful sometimes when you just want to pose your Hulk standing still. But this one is have you know, the wicked smile that if you just put it on, it just seems very weird. And the next one, we look into the accessory for both of the Hulk. Unfortunately, I think both of the Hulk's accessory are just the hands that we can see right now. Okay, so for the Infinity War Hulk, it just comes with a pair of closed fist hand and a pair of grabbing hands, that's all. But as for the Avenger Assemble one, it just comes with a pair of closed fist hand, a pair of open grabbing hands, and then also I think it's a pair of hands. I'm not sure whether it's just a right hand or just a pair of hands that has articulation on it for you to grab onto something, for example Loki's leg. Okay, so for both of the Hulk, whether it's the Avenger Assemble one or the one from the Infinity War, this time I would think the Avenger Assemble Hulk is more worthwhile to get because of the I would say a more classic look of the Hulk. If you are a big fan of the Hulk, First off is the pants. I think the pants is the more obvious improvement because they use back the classic pants. And as for that, the body, yeah, I think is the cutting of the torso is more clean cut for this one, I think, which looks pretty good. And also one more thing I forgot to mention is the hair. Okay, the hair actually looks different for both of the Hulk. I kind of like the this Hulk hair a little bit better because it does looks more classic. Okay, so the next one we'll move on to Thor, which actually there isn't any comparisons for us to compare because this is something like a first Thor that they created, but I will still compare it to the closest that I can find, which is the Thor from Age of Ultron. Okay, so this is also the very first Thor that SH Figuarts had created, which is dated way back to 2015 if I'm not wrong. So it's actually 5 years old Thor. So it's a little unfair to compare with this Thor because it's a 5 years gap. Okay, but you can see the improvement. Okay, so this comparison is purely for you to see the improvement that SH Figuarts have gone through. So yeah, there's no comparison, especially if you take a look at the head sculpt. My goodness, wow, it's a big difference there. So since there is no comparison, of course the one from the Avenger Assemble is the winner. Okay, so lastly we'll go through the Iron Man Mark 6 that we can see right now. Of course there are comparison to be done because there is an existing Mark 6 that has been released. Actually there are two Mark 6. Okay, there is a 1.0 and the one that we have most currently is the 2.0, which is a big improvement over the 1.0, but this new one from the Battle Damage Edition is actually even much more better. There you can see the paint is actually looking a lot more screen accurate. So a closer looks on the armor, you can actually see the big improvement over there. Especially there are even some added details to the front armor near the arc reactor that you can see. Wow, it just looks very good. And this next picture is like comparing the SH Figuarts with the Hot Toys. Okay, so it looks very good, especially with the battle damage on it. Wow, it's incomparable. Well, you will know what to choose next. Okay, and for the next one, you can see the flight pose, which both of them looks very similar, except they actually improve the blast effect from the leg, which actually looks a lot better now. And the next one, you can see some beam effects, and now again they have improved the effects for this hand shooting beams, which actually looks pretty good though. And needless to say, the next screen we can see the laser effects from both of his arms, which is a very iconic scene when he was fighting with War Machine. So again, for this one, whether it's the Battle Damage editions of Mark 6 or the existing Iron Man Mark 6 2.0, which I have as well, I will still think I will go for this one. Okay, because of the battle damage. I'm really a big fan of battle damage, and it just comes with it and it looks very good. I mean, in terms of the paint, it just looks like a big improvement over the existing one. So there's no choice that I think this is a winner. So in the end, I think other than the Captain America, the rest of it is pretty worthwhile to get. Even though if you have both of it, like the Hulk, I do have the Infinity War Hulk, and I do think that it's worthwhile to get the new one. Thor, of course, there's no debates over there. Mark 6, yeah, again there's no debates. And as for the Captain America, for those of you who have gotten the Cap vs Cap, I think you can stick with it because this new one doesn't really have any more things that actually make it more worthwhile for you to grab. Okay, so that's all for the comparison. I hope you do like it. Do give me a thumbs up if you like it, and of course always feel free to leave me any comments or any further information that you would like to share down in the comments below. And before you leave, of course, I hope you check out my playlist at the top right corner. So do browse around my channel for more interesting toys comparison like this one, and I'll see you again in those comparison video. Bye and thanks for watching.